Well, meteorologist Ramisha Shea joining us in the studio with a check of our forecast. It is humid out there.
Yes, it's humid, it is hot, it is hazy. We've got a little smoke in the air, likely coming from some agricultural fires around Mexico. So that will subside a bit tomorrow because a cold front is moving in. But in between now and tomorrow, we got some storms potentially to get through. And we already have a tornado watch just to our north and west. That does include Waco, that includes Dallas. None of our area in that tornado watch just yet, but notice the general movement of the storms. They are drifting off to the east and southeast. So guess what? One or two of those storms could potentially make it into the area as we go into tonight. So definitely stay alert. So far, it's been all about the heat, the haze, the humidity out there. Temperatures well into the 80s across Houston and the rest of southeast Texas. When you add in the feels like temp, it feels even worse out there when you factor in that humidity. It feels like it's right at 100 for you in Sugar Land, and check that out, 106 that feels like temp over towards Katy. So that is getting to that dangerous category. So take it easy. If you're going to be doing some yard work out there this evening, if you're going for a jog, take breaks, drink plenty of water, because outside of any storms, it is quite uncomfortable with all of that humidity. We've got the threat for a few severe storms, mainly between 8 p.m. and midnight as this weak cold front drops in. We will get a break from a lot of that heat, briefly at least for a couple of days, and humidity, but as we go into this weekend, it looks like that front will lift back to the north and bring in more rounds of rain that could lead to additional flooding, unfortunately, for your Mother's Day weekend. As far as the severe threat for tonight, highest risk will be near and north of I-10 from Houston all the way up to Huntsville. Biggest severe risk, that 3 out of 5 very likely category, stretches from Conroe to Cold Spring to Huntsville back over towards Brenham. So those are the areas that we'll be monitoring for that highest threat for damaging wind and large hail. Futurecasts will show that the storms will start to push in, likely around 8 p.m., maybe an isolated shower storm up around Huntsville. 10, 11 p.m., another cluster of storms getting close to Sealy. Notice closer to midnight as those storms try to roll into Sugar Land, Katy and Houston. Notice the bright oranges and the reds kind of fading. I think they will get weaker, but there could still be some heavy downpours and maybe a little bit of hail and wind in those storms before midnight, so we will watch it closely. After we get rid of tonight's storms, we will turn our attention to Mother's Day weekend. The first half of the weekend looking pretty good. If you're taking mom out to brunch or maybe out to the park on Saturday, only a slim shot for rain late, but Sunday, rain chances jump up to 70%, and they stick around at that 70% mark for Monday as well. So soggy for Mother's Day, unfortunately. Plan accordingly. Indoor plan's a good idea. Soggy for Monday as well, and we could be dealing with more of a flood risk as we go into early next week. More on that a little bit later in the show. I'll let you know how much rain I'm expecting and when things could start to improve coming up.